She has opened clinics for addicted children, and she gets a lot of money in her foundation. Since a decision was made that the government will not fund the office or the spouse of the deputy president, Kenyans of goodwill flock to her every day with cash donations, with material donations, for her to continue with a very good program she's doing of rehabilitating children in Kilifi, in Mombasa, in Nyandarua, in Laikipia, in Nairobi, and her work is well documented. I am yet to see from the mover of this motion what crime the Rigathi Gachagua Foundation has done. There is no allegation, there is no evidence, there is nothing. Against Rigathi Gachagua Foundation, there is nothing. Spiritway Limited is a company registered by Dorcas Rigathi that does work with the church ministries. This ministry has not traded, does not even have a bank account. It's some strong women of God who have come together to create a company around their issues to preach the gospel. The mover of this motion has not indicated at all what crime this company has committed, other than dragging the name of my wife into mud in the National Assembly. Calvary Creed International Limited, as the name suggests, is a company founded by my wife in 2015, long before I became a deputy president. Again, on evangelism and activities to do with the Church of Christ. I have not seen a single allegation against this company. Mothers of the Lord Limited. Again, this is a company incorporated my wife, Pastor Dorcas, in 2021 with our friends. It has never traded. It does not even have a bank account. The Anani Collective. This is a business name registered my son, Dr. Keith Rigathi, in 2021 before I came into office. And I've asked him, and he has told me the ideas he had, they have not yet come to fruition. So the company is dormant. I am yet to see a single allegation against this company by this young man. GradPass Apartments Limited is a company that the executors of the late Gachagua put together to manage Langata View Apartments. The late Gachagua left 80 apartments for his children in Langata and asked us to sell and distribute the proceeds to the wives, the children, and the brothers in a formula that he gave. In a family meeting that I chaired, we agreed as a family that we should not sell the flats. We should share them so that everybody can be getting a rental income. In that formula, because of the shares he gave to me, I have 10 flats. His daughter has 10, his wife has 5, another one has 2, another has 1. So we did put this company together called Grand Bypass Apartments Limited. This is a company that will be managing those flats on behalf of the beneficiaries of the estate of the late Gachagua. Again, this company has been put here by the Honorable Mutuse as a company that is involved in corruption. A company set to manage flats belonging to a dead good man who had foresight to think about the future of his children. And in his death, he is being haunted on nonsensical allegations simply because a decision has been made that Rigathi Gachagua is no longer useful to this administration. He is a spent cartridge. His work was to help fight Uhuru Kenyatta and get President William Ruto to power. And thereafter, he is of no use So he should be dispensed with, and somebody else can be appointed. Again, it's the will of the Kenyan people. That is the viciousness that we are even fighting the dead. How cruel can we be? How insensitive can we be? What is this power thing? That you even fight the dead for you to entrench yourself in power and get rid of your perceived political enemies. I appeal to the people of Kenya to have respect for the dead, if nothing else. People may have money, they may have power, they may have everything, but they must remember that it is very respectful to respect the dead. Please stop haunting my late brother. Don't put him on trial. He committed no crime by working hard and leaving an inheritance for his children and entrusting his brother, Rigathi Gachagua, to look after that property. Fortis Viz Group Limited is a company incorporated in 2023 by my son, Kevin, and Dr. Keith. Again, some two very enterprising young men. This company has not even taken off. They are still figuring out what business they can do. And before they can even settle down, their father is under siege. So they have to come here every day to keep me company and find out what is not happening. This company has not even started. These are young people, children. Why do you want to destroy their future? By putting their names in the press with negativity because you want to destroy their father. These are innocent boys who have decided to invest in their own country. Why do you want to destroy them? You can destroy Rigathi Gachagua, fair enough, he has led for 59 years. But these boys, hardly 30 years. Why do you want to destroy them? Pioneer Medical Company Group, I founded this company in the year 2008. It has not done business for the last 10 years. Why are you bringing it to Parliament? Rido Furniture Mart Limited, I founded this company with my wife, Pastor Dorcas, in the year 1999. We used to sell furniture at the roundabout at Bomas on your way to Rongai. And we built this company from scratch. And it's been in existence for years. And when we stopped trading with it, we put up apartments in Koroi, in Rongai, called Rido Plaza, that are managed by this company. We collect rent. We have, I think, 40, 50 flats there, and pay tax every month. What wrong has Rido Furniture Mart done? Rido Plaza was constructed in 2012, 10 years before Rigathi Gachagua became deputy president. Even if you want to kill his men and make sure he's totally destroyed, why don't you pursue him for the 2 years he has been in office? Why do you want to go back 20 years before he became deputy president and criminalize his enterprise and his hard work? Biovet Kenya Limited is a company, again, I founded in 2009. Many years before I even went to Parliament. It has not done business for the last 15 years. Not a single shred of evidence that this company has done wrong. It's not there. Murani Manufacturers Limited. It's a company that is founded by a character from our village and sold some shares to my wife and my children and interested them in manufacturing feeds for pigs and for chicken. It never even took off. This company has never traded in government. It has not done any business. It is actually dormant. I'm told the account has only 132,000 shillings. And you want to set the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, a man elected by 7.2 million Kenya shillings, because his wife and children have some shares in a company that has 132,000 shillings. Surely. Delta Merchants Limited is a company I founded in 2009 during the Kibaki era. It has not done business for 15 years. We demand that you say what this company has done. Wamunyoro Investments Limited is a company named after my village in Wamunyoro, which I founded in the year 2001 as a construction company. This company owns a lot of property that I bought in those years when the economy of this country was on sound footing. Since I became Deputy President, we ceased all activities of this company. It has not done a single transaction with anybody. The company is dormant, but it owns property. Those properties were bought and acquired long before I became Deputy President. Cosmea Venture Limited is a company that was incorporated in 2018 before I became Deputy President by my sons. They do what you call bulk SMS. I used to give them work when I was Member of Parliament to send messages to my constituents. I think they were charging me 30 cents per SMS. Some young, enterprising young people. Company 2018, it doesn't do business with government. It is not accused of any wrongdoing by anybody, anywhere, just putting the name there. Royal Crimson Ventures Limited, again, incorporated in 2018 by my children to do their little business. No allegation of any wrongdoing has been annexed to the motion. Cruito Properties Limited, again, this is a company that me and the co-executors put together for the purposes of managing the Vipingo Hotel. No details of any accusation, any wrongdoing, nothing. Crystal Kenya Limited, this company I founded in 2009. And when I became Deputy President, I gave out my shares to my children. And myself and my wife, we got out and asked them to continue doing business. My two children, like their father, very enterprising. Nyeri County, where I come from, we were hit badly by COVID. And all our hotels shut down. Hundreds of jobs were lost. Many people who were supplying to those hotels shut down. The two most important hotels in Nyeri is the Outspan Hotel and the Treetops Hotel, and they are always run together. The Outspan Hotel was for sale, and my children were interested, and I encouraged them. Treetops Hotel cannot be sold. It belongs to KWS. It's a government hotel. You can only lease. And the person who owned Outspan Hotel had also leased the Treetops Hotel. So my son acquired Outspan Hotel and got an assignment of the lease. So they don't own Treetops Hotel. is on a lease from KWS to Aberdare Safari, then an easement to Crystal Kenya that is run by my children. I shouldn't be here talking about Crystal Kenya Limited and my children because they are not part of this proceeding. But they have no other forum to defend themselves, so I have to defend them. They are grown-ups. They should defend themselves, but they don't have the forum. They went to a bank and borrowed 600 million. The documents are there. And bought a hotel and bought the lease. And I publicly announced that my family has acquired the 2 hotels because there was nothing to hide. I saw no need to advise my children, like other people do, to buy the properties through proxy because this was straight business. They went and borrowed 600 million from the bank. And they were given 1-year moratorium, which is not over, to do the renovations and all that and open the facility. But I want to thank my son, Dr. Keith Rigathi. He worked very hard. And I think last month or so, I was at the treetops with the British High Commissioner to open the treetops. The treetops is so important to the people of Nyeri and the Aberdare ecosystem. It is in the treetops hotel that Princess Elizabeth slept as a princess and woke up as a queen. And when that facility was shut down, it was very devastating to the people of Nyeri and the Aberdare ecosystem. So when the people of Nyeri heard that the son of the deputy president is interested in leasing that facility from KWS and reopen it, there was joy and jubilation in the Aberdares. Since this hotel opened, 45 Kenyans are back to work. The mama mboga we talked about during our campaign are supplying vegetables to that hotel. The local butchers are supplying meat to that hotel. The traditional Moboko dancers come every weekend to entertain the tourists and get some payment. The tourism circuit of the Aberdare is back because of these 2 young men who are now being demonized as crooks, as criminals, who should not invest in their own motherland because they are the sons of the deputy president. The deputy president of the Republic of Kenya spends a lot of time in one of his functions that he has been given by the president to coordinate development partners and look for investors. Why should the deputy president go to look for foreign investors when his own children can invest at home? Children of many other people I know hide their money in Dubai and Cayman Islands. They don't want to invest here. What crime have the children of the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya committed by borrowing money from a bank to buy a hotel and spur tourism, create employment, and spur business within the local environment? These boys are so demoralized, asking me, Dad, why didn't you advise us that it's a crime to be your children? That we have no life of our own? That we shouldn't invest in our own country? And if we dare to invest, we should do it under our proxy so that we conceal our identity. Are we criminals by virtue of being your children? That's a question my children are asking me. What crime can children of Kenya commit to borrow money from a bank and start an enterprise and employ people and spur tourism? How unfair can a country be to its young population to condemn them for being enterprising? I'm being told by the National Assembly that I need to be impeached from office because my children have dared to borrow money, buy property in their name and invest in their own country. And for that, their father should be sent home. I want to conclude by Karadi Farm Limited. This is a farm I founded in 2001 with my wife, Pastor Dorcas. And it runs our farms. It runs our dairy farm in Nyeri that is doing very well. I'm making $1 million shillings also every month. And I sell calves, and it's doing very well. And my farm now has become a model farm for the local farmers. We are doing chicken, we are doing rabbits, we are doing sheep. Again, nobody has told me what crime has Karandi Farm committed. Technical Supplies and Services Kenya Limited, a company I founded in 2001. I did business during the Kibaki era. When things got very bad, I stopped doing business with it. It has not done business for the last 8 years. And of course, in the 2 years I've been deputy president. I want proof. Tomorrow, the National Assembly to table proof what these companies have done. They will be very embarrassed before the people of Kenya. This will be the most shameful act ever in the history of our National Assembly, where you go table a motion that is so sensational based on trash and not a single accusation backed by evidence. I have seen an allegation that exerting influence on officials of the Ministry of Lands to issue an allotment letter to Amunyoro Investments Limited and using the fraudulently acquired documents to support a court case. Again, Amunyoro Investments Limited was never allotted any land. This parcel of land, 209/12077, Amunyoro acquired at 24 million shillings in the year 2012. The documents are there, we'll give them to you. Purchase from a third party. Somebody went to the National Land Commission and lodged a case and claimed the property belonged to him, a former senior outside the Ministry of Lands. And the National Land Commission made a determination, the records are there, that the land belongs to Amunyoro Investments Limited. Again, he went to the High Court in the year 2022. I was not deputy president. I made my witness statement before I became deputy president. I supplied all documents before I became deputy president. I did not file any evidence as deputy president. And the matter was concluded, and the High Court issued a judgment. We'll give you the judgment that the land belongs to Amunyoro Investments Limited. I am told that they have appealed the judgment. I invite the Honorable Mutuse to apply to be co-joined in the appeal, and then he can argue his case. This is a matter that has been adjudicated by the High Court of Kenya and made a determination. And you want to bring it to the National Assembly. The matter is alive with the Court of Appeal. It is sub judice to even discuss it in Parliament because a determination has been made. Irregular procurement of mosquito nets at a cost of 3.7 billion. I saw a huge headline from the Star newspaper, planted headline. This is the most ridiculous headline I've ever seen. And this is the most I lack a proper word, and I don't want to speak in Kikuyu. I think somebody needs to give me some water. What I'm looking for. I have seen that allegation. I want to respond as follows. One, There is Andrew Mulwa, he has sworn an affidavit with the false allegations. And he had better be very careful. Because he has made a statement on oath. In the affidavit, he says that Deputy President was involved in KEMSA 3.7 billion irregular procurement of malaria nets, either directly or through proxies. Further, Shobika Impex Limited is an international company, the fourth largest manufacturer of mosquito nets in the world. It has done many tenders with KEMSA, with the Global Fund, countries in Africa and Asia. And there was a tender. There was a tender funded by Global Fund through KEMSA, and it was an international tender for manufacturers. The company owned by my son Christo Kenya Limited are not manufacturers, and they did not participate in any way in the tender. In any way. What happened is that in the year 2014, 8 years before I became deputy president, Shobika Impex Limited appointed Christo Kenya as their local agent, whose work is to do their errands and follow their supplies at the ports of entry. Christo Kenya did not participate in this tender. It was done by Shobika. KEMSA wrote to Shobika and said, your tender was not successful because you had a problem with pagination of your security document. Pagination. Those of you who have done tenders, you number the pages. And if they are not right, you can be disqualified. And therefore, they were told, can you come and collect your bid board, your regional bid board? That's what happens. If you participate in a tender and you don't win, you are asked to collect your bid board. And they kept on coming to collect the bid board. It was not available for almost 3 months. And they asked the local agent, that is Christo Kenya Limited, can you follow up on our behalf? We participated in this tender. We did not win. We have a letter asking us to collect the bid board. We are waiting for it because this is money that is tied as our agent in Kenya. Can you follow up? And that is why when my son, on behalf of Christo Kenya Limited, went to KEMSA trying to follow up. And when it was not working, he brought it to my attention and I made a call to Mr. Andrew Mulwa, asking, my son has been here. There's a little issue about a bid board of an unsuccessful tenderer. Why is it that this is money that is tied? And these are foreigners, these are foreign investors. We don't want to make life difficult for them. Please, why don't you release it to it unless there's a problem? Oh, he said, no, the matter is under investigation. That is why we cannot release it. The bid board is with the SEC. I said, fine. If the matter is under investigation, so be it. Right along, the investigations were over. EACC wrote to KEMSA and returned the bid board. KEMSA in return wrote to Shobika and returned the bid board. End of story. Shobika did not win the tender. They were not awarded the contract to supply the nets. No nets were supplied by Shobika. No public funds were lost. And we are told by Deputy President asking why a bid board to a tenderer who has failed to win cannot be returned. He endangered the lives of the people of Kenya. That is how absurd the allegation is. There is no evidence that the company with my son participated in the tender. They did not participate. There is no evidence that the deputy president interfered with the tender. The only crime is that urging so that we don't frustrate foreign investors. If they were not successful, why are you keeping their tender security? You need to give it to them. And it was a lot of money. I think it was 500 million or something like that. So I want to say this is a very ridiculous, and I take great exception to the headline by the Star. Please, we'll give you the documents. Tell us, where was the deputy president involved in that tender? This is a tender that never was. And for the record, to show that this tender had no problem, after the investigations, during the investigations, the CEO, Terry Ramathani, was suspended to allow investigations, as it should be. And Mulwa became the CEO. Mulwa was not there during the tendering. He came after the tender had been annulled. And he was dealing with the aftermath of the annulment of the tender, that is returning the bid boards, sending document to ACC. After investigations by ACC and the Senate were concluded, Terry Ramathani was appointed by President William Ruto as the Deputy High Commissioner to India. That tells you, because when those appointments are made, the head of public service writes to ACC, DCI on issues of integrity. Terry was cleared, which means there was no scandal. And again, and most important, no public funds were lost, no nets were supplied. Therefore, this is another fishing expedition to just justify the 5.2 billion. I think that is why they were putting the 3.7 billion to make the maths to add up. You know, when you want to talk big figures, you must look for 3.7, 600 and all that. Even all these things I've read here, if you take your phones, we are nowhere even, we have not reached 2 billion. Because Olive Garden, 400 million. Queensgate Apartment, 600 million. Outspan and Treetop, 600. So these are just figures that were being put to the people of Kenya so that they can see us into bad light. Unnecessary and expensive renovation at the official residence in Karen and Mombasa. How Mutusen knew it's unnecessary, I don't know. He has never been here. You guys were here before. When President William Ruto was deputy president, he was denied funds for 5 years. This place was in very high state of disrepair. It took me 7 months to move in. The roofs were leaking, the toilets were blocked, the septic tanks was broken down, the borehole was broken, there was nothing. Parliament, in its own wisdom, allocated funds for the renovation of this residence. As a deputy president, I have nothing to do with public expenditure. In fact, at that time, the accounting officer, between 2022 and 2023 financial year, was the State House Controller. Procurement was done, tender was awarded, and the renovations were done. And you can see the place looks good. There was need to dignify the office of the deputy president because he has a function of coordinating development partners. Ambassadors and high commissioners and all sorts of international visitors are always here. So to dignify the office of the deputy president, the residents needed to be in the right standard, and that is not my decision, and I have nothing to do with it. As for the contractor who was awarded the job, I don't know him, and I don't need to know him. I have no business. Where he transferred his money, I would not know. I have no access to his account. Whether he is related to me, the answer is no. I don't know him. And for the record, I don't wish to know him because it's not necessary. Government expenditure is audited every year by the Auditor General. Since this office was under the executive office of the Deputy President for that financial year, the Auditor General did her inspection and gave us a clean bill of health. The renovations that were done were not highlighted with having any audit query. If the Honorable Mutuse had taken his time to look at the Auditor General's report, he would not have brought this baseless accusation. And even if there was an accusation, it should be directed to the accounting officer, who is the State House Controller, not me. I don't deal with procurement. I don't deal with financial management. I don't deal with anything to do with public finances. But since the matter has been raised, I have to answer to it. I have looked at the Auditor General's report, clean. I have looked at the contract, it's signed by the Controller of State House. As to the work, that I can attest, they did a very good job. And this residence has been dignified. The same with the residence in Mombasa. You know, the residence in Mombasa is where President William Ruto and his wife, Mama Rachel, were chased away, and the house allocated to the regional commissioner. And on assuming office, I took up the residence. It was in state of disrepair. Again, it was renovated. It's a good place. And I normally go there when I go to Mombasa. And it makes a lot of sense, because before the renovation of that residence, anytime I went to Mombasa, I normally have a huge delegation of security people, hospitality, and all that goes with the office, not really me. The bills were very expensive. It makes a lot of sense to have an official residence for the Deputy President in Mombasa, so that when he is there, you cut down on public expenditure. Dubiously acquiring a substantial portion of sum of 100 million paid to Lusona Events Limited. Again, that's another ridiculous acquisition. From the notes, this is people who give services here for events. We have many meetings. You have come here for IBEC. There are tents put up here to the required standard. We have meetings here for development partners. This is a very busy residence. Most of you have been here. Again, I don't get involved in procurement. That is the work of the accounting officer and his team in public finance management. As to the person who does that work, I don't know he or she, and I have no business knowing who does the work. Those are things that are not in my purview. Again, the ridiculous accusations that money came to me, one would have to demonstrate how it came to me. Was it brought to me through my account, through cash? Who was there? What is the evidence? Again, it is just trying to throw mud at me. And I want to say that that accusation is baseless, and we believe we want to see the mover of the motion coming up with tangible evidence. Again, these accusations lack particularities and specifics. They are just generalized accusations. Again, we'll be challenging that again in court, because there is a ruling that grounds of impeachment must be well-grounded and must be particularized and specific. This is just an allegation. Where is the nexus between the supplier of events to this residence and the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua? There is no nexus. I don't know the person. I don't know the company. I'm not involved in the procurement. I don't even know how it is procured. All I do is I want events, and they are arranged, and I take part in those events. Those accusations of funds utilizing the Deputy President, in the office of the Deputy President, coming for my personal benefit, are ridiculous. unfounded and totally malicious, and there's no evidence whatsoever. And I want you people of the press to also ask these people to give you the evidence. Don't just write headlines. Ask, where is the evidence? Where are the particulars? You know, you don't just allege, oh, this particular supplier, this money went to the deputy president. Yes, fine, that is good. How? How did it go to the deputy president? You must explain. Alleged sensational but false allegations against Lady Justice Esther Maina. It is alleged that the special notice of motion at ground 4 had a gross violation of the Constitution, that I publicly attacked the Lady Justice Esther Maina and falsely threatened to bring action against her. I did not threaten to bring any action against Justice Maina. I did bring action against her. I was just informing the public because I'm a public officer and I have freedom of speech. I have filed petition before the Judicial Service Commission against Justice Esther Maina in issues I felt I did not get proper justice. So I did not threaten her. I did what the law says. If you are not happy with the conduct of a judge, you file a petition before the Judicial Service Commission, which I have done. Again, I don't want to delve before the matters because it is against sub judice. But that I have done, so I cannot be threatened. I cannot be said to threaten her. And again, I have a right as a leader, as a Kenyan, to say what I'm doing. And I did say publicly that I will bring a petition against her, and I have done it. And the evidence is there. You see it. We have filed a petition, and we are waiting for it to be concluded. Again, I want to emphasize that my statements were protected speech consequent to a decision by the landed judge in a matter involving my personal assets, which I disagree with and found to be wholly unfair. The matter having been concluded at that stage, my criticism of the decision was not sub judice, nor in any other manner prohibited by law. While I respond to the ruling of the landed judge, I was in absolute disagreement with it. Contrary to the assertions, the special motion, I did not falsely threaten to bring action against the landed judge. I took legal action available to every citizen of Kenya under Article 168(2) of the Constitution, which allows any person to petition the Judicial Service Commission for the removal of any judge, and filed a legal complaint before the Judicial Service Commission in March 2024. Complaint being live before the JSC, discussion of the conduct of the landed judge in the said matter here would be sub judice. Diverting materials meant for construction of Kilifi Malindi Highway to tarmac a private load to Vipingo Beach Resort. Again, I said Vipingo Beach Resort belongs to the estate of the late Governor Gachagua. The facts are as follows. King Charles III visited Kenya between 30th October 2023 and 3rd November 2024. During his state visit, one of the designated places where King Charles III was to visit was Kuritu Marine Conservancy, which shares a road with the Vipingo Beach Resort. And it's a public load, by the way, it's not a private load. I have annexed a copy of the program of the state visit to Kenya by King Charles III, marked RG, which at page 13 on items 63 and 64 shows his departure and arrival at Kuritu Marine Conservancy. As I was walking around, I slept there, I think 2-3 weeks before the arrival of the king. And as you all know, I walk every morning. And as I walked on that road, I found there was a lot of activity and tarmac was going on. I was very happy and I asked what was happening. And I was told that the king himself, the third, will be coming. So, like all other residents of that area, we are very indebted to King Charles III, that this was done very speedily. Rigathi Gachagua never called anybody to do this road. In fact, I'm informed that this road is donor funded, the one to Kilifi, and there is a component of corporate social responsibility, and I have learned after I have inquired that these people of that road is called Takaungu Shariani Vipingo. It's off the main road, and I am made to understand that Kuritu Marine Conservancy, Vipingo Secondary School, Shariani Primary School, among other stakeholders, including a public market, applied to Kenha to be considered for corporate social responsibility. And I think the issue of the king hastened that request. And that's why I said we are grateful to the king. Again, I invite evidence to show that I influenced that road. In any case, I would like to know the member of parliament for that area, how he will vote in this motion. He should be a very happy man. If Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua occasioned a tarmac road to be done in his constituency, he should vote for me. But I didn't. And when I went there, that Shariani market, people are very happy with that road because I walk there in the morning when I sleep there. People are very happy with that road. The secondary school there, the boys and girls are very happy. The primary schools are there. And again, contrary to the assertion by the Honorable Mutuse, it's not a private road, it's a public road. And it is serving many people, a primary school, a secondary school, a market, and a whole community, including the family of the estate of the late Governor Rigathi Gachagua. We are just beneficiaries of good deeds by our government that were hastened by the arrival of His Majesty the King III. Undermining the president and the cabinet by allegedly making contradictory public statements from the position taken by cabinet regarding the evacuation of the people residing along Nairobi River. To start with, for the record, President William Ruto has never complained to me that I have undermined him. If he has told that to Honorable Mutuse, I would like to know that he has complained to Honorable Mutuse that his deputy has undermined him. Article 147 of the Constitution provides the Deputy President shall be the principal assistant to the President and shall deputize for the President in the execution of the President's functions. Article 28, which states that every person has inherent dignity and the right to have that dignity respected and protected. Article 29C, which states that every person has the right to freedom and security of the person, which includes the right not to be subjected to any form of violence from either public or private sources. Section 152G1 of the Land Act, which states that notwithstanding any provisions to the contrary in this act or in any other written law, all eviction shall be carried out in strict accordance with the following procedures. A, be preceded by proper identification of those taking part in the eviction or demolitions. B, be preceded by the presentation of the formal authorizations for the action. C, where groups of people are involved, government officials or their representatives to be present during an eviction. D, to be carried out in a manner which respects the dignity, right to life and security of those affected. Include special measures to ensure